So if you're like me, you are trying to fast forward to the end of the season so you can see what the Chicago Bears do in their upcoming head coaching search. Well, yesterday, NFL insiders Ian Rapoport and Tom Pelissero put out an article about the coaching search around the NFL, but in the Chicago Bears section of the article, they listed 4 names to watch in this upcoming Bears coaching search. Welcome back to Bears Yard. This your boy Vipe, and the first name on the list of names to watch from Ian Rapoport and Tom Pelissero, of course, none other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, Detroit Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. I mean, I've made several videos about Ben Johnson. At this point, I don't know what more there is to say about Ben Johnson. He is the leader in the clubhouse, my personal favorite to be the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. The man has had a top 5 offense in the NFL for the past 3 seasons, including the absolute best offense in the league this season. The dude has turned that franchise in Detroit around, a franchise who nobody thought anything of a few years ago, but with him and Dan Campbell at the head, Detroit has become an absolute powerhouse. So Ben Johnson, name number 1 on the list, and hopefully the guy who will be the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. But not too far behind on my list is Mike Vrabel. He's also listed in this article. Mike Vrabel, who was the former head coach of the Tennessee Titans, got them to a playoff 1 year and did more with less. I mean, when you get to the playoffs with Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback, you are a hell of a coach. And obviously, Mike Vrabel used to play under Bill Belichick, who is widely regarded as the greatest NFL head coach of all time. So it stands to reason that Vrabel learned a few tricks from Belichick, and Vrabel, by all accounts, is a very good head coach. Just didn't agree with management in Tennessee. But I would not be mad if the Bears went out and hired Mike Vrabel. A lot of you might be mad because he's a defensive coach, but Mike Vrabel is just a damn good head coach, period. Doesn't matter what side of the ball that he's on. Number 3 is a name I kind of brought up a few weeks ago on the channel that a lot of people are glossing over, but you shouldn't, and that is Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores. The man, I mean, again, top 5 defense for the last few years with the Vikings. The dude used to be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, had them winning, even though, again, he had a falling out with management and different things like that. Obviously, he had that big dust up with him and Tua Tagovailoa. They didn't get along. And we all know that Brian Flores is suing the NFL and different things like that. So I think that's a reason why a lot of people don't think that he will get a head coaching job. But you cannot overlook what Brian Flores has done with the Vikings defense. And again, I know what y'all gonna say. Vipe, we need an offensive-minded head coach, and I completely agree. However, you cannot look past Brian Flores. He is a quality, damn good coach, period. Again, at this point, I hope you hope that the Bears hire the absolute best man for the job. It doesn't matter what side of the ball he's on. Yes, I will prefer an offensive-minded head coach, but you cannot poo-poo what Brian Flores has done and continues to do as a defensive coordinator in the NFL. The dude is one of the top defensive minds. You got to look at him. You have to. I'm sorry, y'all. You have to look at Brian Flores without question, which leads us to the last name on the list, the name that just makes me, bleh, I don't like it. People keep talking about it, but it's Cliff Kingberry, the current offensive coordinator of the Washington Commanders. Now, the interesting thing about Cliff Kingberry is that he was also interviewed by the Chicago Bears for their offensive coordinator job earlier this year, and we saw how that went. We basically just passed him over, and now he's in Washington doing big things with Jaden Daniels. That's a whole other conversation for another video, which I may or may not make, because there's a lot of people thinking that Jaden Daniels would do better on the Bears, and I'm here to tell you, no, he wouldn't. But I digress. I am not a big fan of Cliff Kingberry, although he does have some clout in the past. He did coach Patrick Mahomes when he was at Texas Tech. He did coach Johnny Manziel at Texas Tech as well. Obviously, he did work with Arizona quarterback Kyler Murray. Kingberry does have a path of developing quarterbacks who have been successful in the NFL, but I'm just not a big fan of him. His coaching stint with the Cardinals really didn't go all that well. I'm not going to say too much more about Kingberry because I'm going to make a separate video highlighting why I feel like he is vastly overrated to be the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. So if you are interested in my thoughts more on Cliff Kingberry, make sure you subscribe to the channel. But if you want more opinionated Bears talk right now, hit that video right there.